So here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from around the country. April 19th marked the 20th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing that left 168 people dead and hundreds injured. A nearly 5,000-pound truck bomb delivered the blast that destroyed the Alfred P. Murrah building. It was the deadliest terrorist attack on U.S. soil until 9/11. To honor the memory of the victims, an estimated 2,500 people attended a 90-minute service. Archbishop Paul Coakley of the Oklahoma City Archdiocese led a prayer at the service. Other speakers included former President Bill Clinton, who had been president when the bombing occurred, and former Governor Frank Keating, who was the governor at the time. During the service, Archbishop Coakley prayed that Oklahoma City would continue to be a beacon of hope, of healing and reconciliation for all people. Those who died in the attack are memorialized in a field of empty chairs at the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum, built where the Murrah building once stood. More news now from around the country. Reaction on the death and reflection on the life of retired Archbishop of Chicago, Cardinal Francis George, is still coming in since his death was announced on Friday. The Cardinal, who was 78 years old, had been battling cancer for nearly 10 years. In announcing his death, Archbishop of Chicago, Blaise Cupich, called Cardinal George a man of peace, tenacity, and courage. Pope Francis sent a telegram expressing his condolences to all in the Chicago Archdiocese and imparted his apostolic blessing. He recalled Cardinal George's witness of consecrated life as a missionary oblate of Mary Immaculate, his service to the Church's educational apostolate, and his years of episcopal ministry. A funeral mass for the Chicago native will be celebrated at noon April 23rd at Holy Name Cathedral, followed by a committal service at the George family plot in All Saints Cemetery in Des Plaines. In news now from Italy, the unveiling of the white cloth over the Shroud of Turin marked the official opening of the Icons exposition to the public. The unveiling came during a mass held in the city's Cathedral of St. John the Baptist, April 19th, in the presence of a small group of dignitaries, religious and lay faithful. Catholic News Service was there and spoke to a photographer from the Shroud of Turin Research Project and to pilgrims.
This is a document that precisely coincides with the gospel account of what was done to the man Jesus. When it comes down to what tortures were applied to him, pretty much everything that was mentioned in the Gospels is documented with forensic accuracy on this piece of cloth.
Io ci ho creduto dalla prima volta che l'ho visto e continuo a crederci, però ogni volta mi porta una grandissima emozione.
È stato emozionante e unica come esperienza. Auguro a tutti i giovani di poter capire e di poter osservare con il cuore.
Emozione grandissima, anche perché passare davanti a quel telo è un sospiro di proprio tenere respiro e poi passare e riflettere quello che si è visto, quindi lasciare quel sospiro di sollievo è un'emozione grandissima.
Ma quello che conta di più per il pellegrino e per la Chiesa è che comunque di fronte a questo telo nasce nel cuore delle persone questo richiamo continuo e costante a ciò che Gesù ha fatto e a ciò che Gesù ha donato all'umanità.
Pope Francis is scheduled to visit the Shroud June 21st. The Pope authorized the public display of the Shroud to help commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of St. John Bosco, a 19th century priest from the Turin region who was a pioneer in vocational education, worked with poor and abandoned children, and founded the Salesian order. The Shroud, believed by many Christians to have wrapped the crucified body of Christ, will be on public display through June 24th. More than 2 million people are expected to visit. In news from the Middle East, this week marks the second anniversary of the kidnapping of Syriac Orthodox Metropolitan Gregorius Johanna and Greek Orthodox Metropolitan Paul, both of Aleppo, Syria. They were kidnapped in the Aleppo province on April 22, 2013. Greek Orthodox Patriarch John X of Antioch, who's the brother of Metropolitan Paul, commemorated the anniversary of the Divine Liturgy April 19th at Our Lady of Balamand Monastery in northern Lebanon. In a statement he read at the conclusion of the liturgy, Patriarch John called for the community and international organizations to mobilize to inquire about the fate of the missing bishops. Patriarch John and Syriac Orthodox Patriarch Ignatius Ephraim II of Antioch, issued a joint statement saying that the aim of the atrocities in the region is to demolish life in its cradle, shatter civilizations, remove the rudiments of its landmarks, conceal its characteristics, displace man, destroy history, and disfigure the identity of God. The two Syrian-born patriarchs said the solution is not achieved by violence, but by multiple forms of dialogue. And finally, in the news from the Vatican, at the end of his annual audience with the U.S.-based Papal Foundation, Pope Francis was presented with the last of the 7 volumes that comprise the St. John's Bible. The Bible, which is renowned for its handwritten text and vibrant illuminations, is a project of St. John's Abbey and St. John's University in Collegeville, Minnesota. On hand for the presentation to the Pope were Benedictine Abbot John Klassen, Donald Jackson, the Bible's artistic director, Michael Hemisath, the university president, and Cardinal Donald Wuerl of Washington, president of the Papal Foundation. The special edition volumes given to the pontiffs are bound in calfskin leather and are about 2 feet tall and 3 feet wide when opened, and they weigh about 14 pounds each. The illuminations include a range of art styles from classical iconography to more modern abstract renderings. Some images combine styles. Of the 299 7-volume sets that have been printed, about 100 have been purchased by individuals and institutions. And that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.